Maybe you shared the viral video of Kimberly Sweet Brown Wilkins telling a reporter after narrowly escaping apartment fire, "Ain't nobody got time for that," as we all recall that one. Perhaps you posted that meme of supermodel Tyra Banks exploding in anger on America's Next Top Model. "I was rooting for you. We're all rooting for you." Or maybe even Michael Jordan crying, one of my favorites. And or RuPaul drag queen declaring, what does that say? I don't even know.
Girl,
Girl. Okay, I thought it was an I for a second. I was like, Gurry. What? Nobody's sharing that one. CNN just had to show their support for transvestites, I guess.
Antoine Dodson too.
That's
We
a good
don't.
one now.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're black and you shared such images online, you get a pass. But if you're white, you may have inadvertently perpetrated one of the most insidious forms of contemporary racism. So notice only white. I find that interesting. If you're black, you get a pass. Nobody else is mentioned, but if you're Native American, no, they don't. They don't say that. You may be wearing digital blackface.
This is crazy.
What is digital blackface, Eric? Why don't you tell us?
It's completely made up by this weirdo establishment. It's nothing. It doesn't mean it's you're not allowed to make a joke now, right? We saw, and this is, maybe not apples to apples, but Lil Nas X a week or two ago who made a joke about the Transformers. So it's basically eliminating your ability to joke and laugh and have fun. That's all
this is. And we'll read on, but this is part of my ever-growing theory that this is an attempt to underhandedly or backhandedly take black people out of culture. So now all of a sudden, let's go by American statistics. You have over 60% of these people using memes of a race that isn't theirs. Oh my God. And now all of a sudden you're eliminating 60% of people from using memes for a race that isn't theirs, thus not including them in culture and banter.
But nothing about woman face. Nothing about a man pretending to be a woman.
No, you're allowed to use drag queens just if you share the same skin color as them, which is, of course, insanity that we didn't believe in until 10 minutes ago. What are you sending me here, bud?
It's just an old I knew this, I did a little research while you were reading, and you can see some from 2020, some articles from 2021. So,
2020.
Yeah.
So they're just circling the wagons back around, eh?
Exactly.
Digital blackface is a practice where white people, you don't have to capitalize white. I'm sorry. I know that these.
You noticed? Because we had that discussion about the equestrian, and they weren't capitalizing. They weren't capitalizing the W in white, and I totally forgot about that. But hey, yeah, I'm all for the equality. Is it equity, equality? Whatever.
It's really odd for this person to be, calling memes blackface, but then going out of their way to capitalize white when their Associated Press only says you have to do it for black. I choose to do it for none of them because it's a color and therefore does not need to be capitalized. So on co-opting online expressions of black imagery, slang, catchphrases, or culture to convey comic relief or express emotions. Unbelievable. These expressions, what one commentator calls racialized reactions. This is so stupid. And the only reason I want everybody to know, our growing audience of millions and trillions, I want everyone to know that the reason why we share this stuff is not because it deserves to be shared. It's because the normies, as it were, need to know this type of stuff exists. Because, especially pro-trans activists will say that, nobody is trying to convert children, or nobody's trying to do this and that, and nobody's pushing it on you. It's just the right-wing media pretending that it's being pushed because they want to fearmonger. We show this sort of stuff so that this does happen. CNN's a giant company, especially online. CNN and Fox put out the most articles of anyone I know because I read them every day. Whereas websites like Yahoo or MSN, all they do is aggregate. So they put out a lot of stuff, but it's not their own stuff. CNN and Fox are like the number one written content on the American online media. And a lot of the time, CNN is pretty straight shooting in their writing. Of course, the topics and the angles are inherently biased, as everybody's is. But for their written content, you should take their written content versus their TV content 99 out of 100 times.
Can I just mention too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, well I was gonna say, like you said about the trans activists and like how it's not really happening, and we're showing that this is actually happening, right? We can go back to just last week with the hockey thing, and one of the hockey reporters like, it's not a it's not forcing you to adopt an ideology, and it's like that's
Mhm.
literally exactly what they're forcing you to do. Like that's like
Yeah.
they're I mean the I'm getting off track here. The cake baker, all this stuff, they are 100% forcing you to adopt their ideology. That's literally exactly what it is. He says that's not the case, and just by him saying that is enough to make it true. That's what they do. Is just it coming out of their mouth, their brain is enough to make it true. It doesn't get questioned.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out for our viewers on Getter that it's constantly messing up. I don't know what's wrong with it. So switch on over to YouTube or Twitch or Twitter if you're having trouble. So we're sharing it to you to show you that this stuff does exist and it comes from gigantic outlets. So digital blackface involves, they're saying, this isn't me, white people play acting at being black, says Lauren Michelle Jackson, an author and cultural critic. So cultural critic is not a real job. I just like to throw that out there. In an essay for Teen Vogue. So they're pushing it on children. Teen Vogue is an extremely woke magazine for kids. Probably just a website now. Probably 7 people a day buy it across the continental US. And it used to be, like Tiger Beat or something that they just push celebrities on children. They had to take the turn like Time magazine and so many outlets, Rolling Stone, once Trump became in office, because the powers to be, they turn that switch, that knob up to 11, where it's like propagandize, and they had to turn it up. So that's what they are. Jackson
They
says
turned
the
that
internet.
thing up to 35. They turned it past 11, bro.
She says the internet thrives on white people laughing at exaggerated displays of blackness, reflecting a tendency among some to see black people as walking hyperbole. No, I don't know anybody who's ever said that. I don't know any one of my friends who are white that has ever sent a meme and the sentiment was about the person being black. It was about what the meme means. So when you send a Kermit the Frog sipping the tea, it's not about the fact that he is a Muppet, actually. It is about the fact that he's, you know, presenting the idea that they're spreading gossip. So you can go as far as that. You can think of any white person meme. You can think of an Arnold Schwarzenegger meme. You can think of, oh, there's so many memes. I mean,
The
there's billions of
ancient
Ancient
alien,
Aliens guy
yeah.
has a good one. He's Greek. Like there's billions of memes. It has nothing to do with the
Scumbag
fact that he's
Steve.
Greek.
You remember?
Scumbag Steve.
You remember him?
My God, Pokemon's girl. Like these people are white. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're white. And just like that has nothing to do with the fact that Sandwich by Gordon Ramsay, the sandwiches of bread. There's
That's
just
one
so
of my
many. I
favorites.
don't know how much more we need to read about this girl. Displays of emotion stereotyped as excessive, so happy, so sassy, so ghetto. So what's wrong with being so happy or so sassy? So ghetto. Like what do you mean by ghetto, writer or critic or whoever you are? Like what do you mean by that? Do you mean black people as ghetto, or do you mean what the rest of us mean, which is like trashy and like wild and poor, that sort of stuff? Because I can show you some people from where I grew up that aren't black that are trashy. So what do you mean by that? And this is a lot of the time the problem is that when people have something to say about, you can't call somebody gay or you can't call them uh, an R word, let's say, since it's still the beginning of the video, first 10 minutes of the video. If you say something like that and you're offended by that, then I would ask you, what does that word make you think of in order to
Yeah.
take offense to it? Because when something gets called gay, 99% of people don't think of homosexual or lesbian people. They think of more of an old timey version of something weird or uncool. It has nothing to do with the sexuality of the person, and that's like something that the new generation of reporters and stuff have tried to eliminate from society. Like, well, what's the problem with being gay? Anderson Cooper said one time. Nobody has a problem with that. So
Not that
they
there's
create
anything
these.
wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. They create these problems that never existed so that they can narrow the scope of language and control it more and more. And that's what they're doing here. Rarely are black characters afforded subtle traits or feelings. They're saying, like, what are you talking about? You're analyzing memes here.
Well,
It's like analyzing a cartoon.